welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Taylor and today we'll be doing a ranking every Taylor Swift album before The Life of a Showgirl comes out. But before you hop in the video, remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you love all things music. I did this last year before the release of the Tortured Poets Department, and now we have one new album to add into the mix. So if you don't know anything about me or about these videos, I use the Taylor Swift song sorter to go in and rank every single Taylor Swift song. Then I input them into my little Excel spreadsheet, and it takes an average of all of my ratings and rankings per album, and it gives me the overall highest and lowest average for each album, and therefore we come out with a ranking of 11 albums now. TCPD will not be broken up into the anthology and the regular, it will just be one and the same. So before me I have all of the numbers here, and I will say some things have changed since that video came out. Realistically, this is just, when I do these kinds of videos, it's realistically just a snapshot of where I was in my listening journey at that time. Some things never really changed, like my top 2 or top 3 kind of generally stay in the same area, and then my bottoms, I don't know, my bottom and my middle can kind of rotate. But one thing's for sure, always All Too Well 10-minute version will be at the top of my most played, most loved songs by Taylor Swift. So I will be going in order of my ranking of the albums according to what I've done here, as well as I will be giving you my current top 3 on each album, so at least what it was a month ago. And I am filming this on September 23rd, so we're like 11-ish days out from Taylor Swift dropping TS12, and I am going through the process of listening to each album a day, and right now we are currently listening to Fearless, Taylor's version, and man, the vibes are just immaculate. So let's go ahead and hop into our 11 album ranking. I do think as time has gone on, I have really solidified my taste in music and my particular taste in Taylor Swift songs and albums, and I do fear this has caused a detriment to some of the fandom's favorite works. And what came out on the bottom at a rating or average rating of 165.57 or 5.8 if I'm rounding correctly is Folklore. Oh, listen, Folklore and Evermore, I have not been listening to those a lot. I will say they always kind of middle around, just because that style of music and production is not necessarily something that I go about listening to on the daily. But seeing as I rank these albums and these songs in the middle of summer, they were not at the top of my list. Folklore and Evermore are much more fall, winter albums when things mellow out a little more for me, but that is what it is. But Folklore, in terms of memories I have of Folklore, I remember, just like with Evermore, sitting on my floor in the middle of the dark, like it was pitch black, and just being like, pop the headphones in and being like, let's sit down. My most vivid memories are of hearing Exile for the first time, probably a little bit crying to My Tears Ricochet, which My Tears Ricochet has become like my go-to I need to cry, be in my feels song. The surprise of the Last Great American Dynasty ending and all of that. And of course we have sort of the other songs that came out around the Folklore time that aren't on the album, like Carolina and Renegade and all the things that go on with there. But for Folklore, my top 3 current songs on the album are: in third place, we have Mad Woman. I love me an angry song, and in fact, I think Feminine Rage is in fact something that is being discussed a lot nowadays, given the state of everything going on, and I do believe she's going to take Feminine Rage much further in her new works, as she has been doing in her past album, and I just love it. I know it's not necessarily a fan favorite, but it's a personal favorite. And then in second place is Exile. I think Exile will always be one of my #1 favorite songs on the album, and in fact it is one of my mom's favorite songs on the album. The fact that I have finally persuaded my mother over to the Swiftie side after listening to Taylor Swift pretty much all of my childhood, and my mother not listening to her, is truly feat. But Exile, the bridge on Exile, is in fact one of my favorite things I have ever heard, and if I had gotten to sing that live at the Eras Tour, I would have loved it. But in first place, this could be indicative of how I've been feeling the past year, My Tears Ricochet. Listen, the song, the bridge, the vibes, it just, this track 5 really holds a special place in my heart, because there's just something about it that when I'm in that particular place, in that state of mind, I need to listen to it over and over again and cry my little eyes out. So let's move into our 10th place. In 10th place is Evermore. Listen, I know Evermore is a sleeper hit of an album, and I know we all like to joke that Taylor Swift kind of forgets about this album, but I'm not gonna lie. There are some songs in here that I absolutely love, and you'll see my pop girly sentiments come out when I tell you my top 3. But then, I don't necessarily listen to others. Again, ranked it in the summer, probably would have ranked it higher if it was the winter time when I went through and ranked this. But it has an average rating of 158.24 if we're rounding correctly, and my top 3 songs came out to be 'Tis the Damn Season. There is just something about the guitar on this song that itches the right part of my brain. Ooh, and I guess now we're slowly moving into that fall winter season. Well, we're at the end of September, so we are in the fall season, and this one is going to be on repeat, especially during the holidays. Then we have Nobody No Crime. Listen, I live in Tennessee. A little country, little feminine rage, a little revenge number is always going to be a favorite for me. And then our top spot, which hasn't changed and probably won't change anytime soon, is Willow. Yes, it is the single. Yes, it is in fact the most pop song on here. Is it a local song? Probably. Yeah, I just love it. There's something about it that I vibe to. I even vibe to the remixes, and I don't know how many other people can say that. But hey, it's a pretty song. It's a pretty love song, and sometimes you just need pretty pop music in your life. Or at least I do. We're moving into 9th place now. So in 9th place, we have Fearless. I feel like Evermore and Fearless really haven't changed up too much in positioning. Fearless as a whole, or Fearless TV as a whole, is my least favorite of her country albums. And I don't think it's for any other reason than I feel like maybe we have reached a point where I might have debut nostalgia. Fearless, still in that young adult range, but I don't think is as nostalgic for me as debut, so therefore I feel like some of the songs have aged out for me. That could be the vibe. I also feel like Speak Now and Red as a whole sonically have a variety to them that I prefer more to them. But yeah, Fearless TV came out at an average rating of 152.48. No rounding needed this time. And for my top 3 songs on the album, we have in 3rd place, Fearless. I think the revival of my love for this song, or me falling in love with this song, came after the Eras tour. She played it like this is the opening track. I don't think I had put the respect on it that I needed to, before the Eras tour, but I feel like Taylor Swift said you will do this now. I also feel like Ali Sheehan, if you've watched her, loves this song, and I feel like they have made me respect it more. In 2nd place, we have a vault track, my favorite vault track on this album, and that is Mr. Perfectly Fine. Do we all remember when we got the surprise drop of this? We had Heard You All Over Me, and then she just gave it to us on a random Wednesday, Mr. Perfectly Fine, and we were all losing our minds over all of the callbacks to other songs like Mr. Casually Cruel, to Red, and all that. And then the key change, yes, loved it. And then 1st place, another local song, Love Story. I think as I have gotten older, I've come to the conclusion that Swifties who like to hate on people for liking singles or liking the lead singles or saying that's your favorite on the album are kind of just like, what's the point? Because Taylor knows how to pick a single. Whether or not you love it or not is up to you. And I feel like her singles get too much hate because if you're a pop girly like me who kind of likes that mainstream pop sound, it's something that I love, you're gonna relate, you're gonna vibe. I love it. And Love Story, she just is that song. And I've been back in my lovey-dovey romance reading mood recently, and Love Story has been on repeat. So let's move into our 8th place. In 8th place, we in fact have Debut. Taylor Swift, self-titled, whatever you want to call it. It came in 8th place with an average of 139.13 repeating. So yeah, we have a bit of a jump in thoughts and feelings here. I don't know, Debut, she's been hitting a little bit more recently for me. I don't know what it is that has revived my love. I think after we got the announcement that she had bought back her masters and we no longer really had to put the pressure on her or ourselves to wait for Debut TV and Rep TV, my re-listening process of Debut TV and Rep TV has gone up. Well, not Debut. My re-listening process of Debut and Rep has gone up because I feel like I was pushing off listening to them until we got it because I thought, oh, it's coming. And it wasn't. Might come next year. We'll see, but I have been re-loving and re-listening to this. This was the first album that I had ever bought by anyone or anything. And I still have the CD. The album case, little me destroyed that. But I still have the CD of the original album that I bought, and she's just classic and nostalgic for me. My top 3 ended up being in 3rd place, I'm Only Me When I'm With You. Yes, pop. Poppiest song on here. And I do believe it's not necessarily a fan favorite, but I do love it. It's cutesy, it's a vibe. Again, Ali Sheehan and I are aligning on here. Love this song. And then up that Mary song. I love Mary's song. I've always loved Mary's song. It's so sweet. It's so cute. It just reminds me of a classic love song of like growing up, childhood friends to lover situation. And like this is really early. This is indicative of her early work of being able to take other people's stories or take something that doesn't necessarily relate to her and putting it into a song. And then, if anyone could have guessed it, my number 1 song on the album is Should Have Said No. I, in fact, think this is pretty resounding across the fandom, how much we love this song. This has been a favorite of mine since the beginning, since I first listened to this album. I will say some of the songs may have gone up and down in my ranking over time, especially Picture to Burn, because it was my alarm sound for a while there, and flashbacks there. But yeah, Should Have Said No, consistently favorite. The bridge. I would have loved to have seen this performed live. I did get to see Teardrops on My Guitar performed live at my show. So hey, at least I got to see one debut song performed live. So next, we're kind of moving straight into the like smack dab in the middle of this, and that is number 7. Falling smack dab in the middle, the Tortured Poets Department at 7th place with an average ranking of 130.71 if we are rounding. So obviously I haven't really got to mention this. This is the newest album to this type of video ranking. I've done multiple videos reacting and ranking the songs on the Tortured Poets, but overall, like, as we move in this new era, summing up the Tortured Poets Department era, I feel like when I first listened to the album, there was like some standout favorites, but it really was just an album. And I'm finding that my listening process recently has been that for most albums, as I'm consuming I'm consuming them, as I'm doing this channel, I'm intaking a lot of new stuff and new music and, you know, really delving into fandom culture and music and all that and all these things, pop culture. So I don't normally vibe to albums or a lot of the songs on albums upon first listen. It's rarely that I go into the album and be like, yes, absolutely love every song upon first listen. And, you know, this one, I feel like we had some changes and some vibes and some things that flowed differently on the album. But as time went on, I became really obsessed and really loved and grew to love some of the storytelling and the songs on here. For me, the Tortured Poets Department, the first half of the album, will always be my favorite. It is, in fact, the most poppy, and we did out of here come out with a new all-time favorite Taylor Swift song, which I will get into in just a second. So, in 3rd place, we have I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. I think this is probably going to be the most indicative of what's to come on The Life of a Showgirl. It's probably the most pop-centric, like dance pop, electro-pop-centric song on the album. I also think, as much, I love lyricism, and I say this, I am more of a production girl, and that usually dictates what I listen to, but in terms of like, I cry a lot, but I am so productive is something that I should get tattooed on myself. So, then after that we have Florida. Listen, I love pop rock. And when Taylor gives me pop rock, I eat it up. Is this a fan favorite? Not necessarily, but for the people who ride for Florida, they know. They ride hard. And then I'm assuming y'all could have guessed that my number 1 spot on this album goes to Who's Afraid of Little Old Me. It is now probably in my top 13 Taylor Swift songs of all, well, I know it is. That's where it ranked. It's in my top 13 Taylor Swift songs of all time. And I don't think anything will change about that anytime soon. So yeah, Tortured Poets Department. I think falling in the middle is probably a good place for it to fall, because I think that's just how my feelings have felt on it since the beginning. But for all my Tortured Poets Department stands, I see you, I respect you. Another album that really fits the middle section is in 6th place, Lover, with an average ranking of 127.15 with a hard stop at 1.15. No other digits after that. This album, I think, has a lot of bangers on it that I absolutely love and will put on repeat no matter what time of year it is. And like my thought process of relating this album to some of my favorite books of all time, like Red, White, and Royal Blue, really does make my love for it grow. And I think the Eras Tour really brought some of the songs on here to the forefront. But I think there's plenty mix on here of songs that are like just or meh for me. I feel like we as a fandom don't necessarily love all the singles she gave us from this album. However, I do think they get way more hate than is really necessary because, like, come on, it's a mainstream pop album. It's going to have mainstream pop appeal. But in terms of my top, okay, I'm going to have to give you a top 4 on here because 4, 3, and 2 are in fact 1 point off from each other. Like they are back to back, ranked the exact same. And I do feel like I should just tell you. So in 4th place, Cornelia Street. This song is forever cemented as one of my favorite love songs of all time, even though it is in fact an anxious love song. But as someone who has anxiety and tends to lean towards that anxious avoidant attachment style, I see it. Then in 3rd place is Death by a Thousand Cuts. This is a fan favorite for a reason. I would have loved to hear this played on tour live when I was there. But to like however many fans got to see it, because I think she played it. You know, it's one of her favorite songs when she plays it many times over. I Wish I Was You. And then in 2nd place, this one's bats between 1st and 2nd place. It really just depends on like what mood I'm in. Is Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince. I haven't been listening to her as much recently as I have in the past. And she has tended to be my number 1 on here. This is an unpopular opinion. However, I feel like y'all put a little more respect on her after the Eras Tour. But hey, it's political, it's fun, it's metaphorical. I love it. And then 1st place. So, Cruel Summer. The Eras Tour is still stuck on repeat in my head, and therefore Cruel Summer is just that girl, and she is going to be number 1. And I don't know what else to say there, because the fandom was like, please bring Cruel Summer, please give us a Cruel Summer music video, and then the song went absolutely bonkers wild when the Eras Tour came out, and all the locals were coming in and like, oh, I see you. Okay. Well, that's Lover, that's number 6. Let's move into our top 5 albums, starting with number 5. In 5th place, I think an album that didn't change its ranking at all is Red Taylor's version. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying, yes, for Red, I love the album, and a lot of my favorites on the album are the singles. Y'all can get over that. I do have a lot of favorites that aren't singles, and that maybe are a little off the beaten path, but what can I say? A girlie loves a pop single. And All Too Well has been my favorite song of all time forever. But the album Red, All Too Well 10 Minute is on it. What is it? It always brings the ranking up, no matter what. Obviously, Taylor Swift said in the New Heights interview that she gained a new appreciation for this album upon re-recording it. And we can see, honey, because you gave us a lot. You gave us a lot for Red TV. And I think we as a fandom need to put a lot of respect on Red. We already do. That was a sentence. That was a sentence that just came out of my mouth. I feel like we as a fandom already love Red, and I feel like the outside world doesn't listen to it as much. To me, Red and TTPD kind of have a similar vibe to it about being her 2 truest breakup albums and having a mess of emotions and like sort of a like memory dump of everything that was going on in her life. But my top 3 songs of the album, again, we have reached a point where some of these songs are like 1 point off, but then I would have to be giving you like a top 8, and I'm not doing that. So, in 3rd place is Red. This is, listen, I love Red, and the bridge of Red, spectacular, amazing. This is due partially to the summer I turned pretty using it as promo for this season, and it being all over my For You page. Yeah, but you know what? Title track, she's a banger, and she always will be. So in 2nd place, We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together. So, yeah. I know everyone's like, whose favorite song is We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together? Is it a top 13 song for me? No. But there's just something about this song that gets me hype. The same with like songs like 22 and I Knew You Were Trouble. I just want to move and groove and dance to them. And I will accept no criticism and hate for it being like a top 3 song on the album. And it tends to go that way. Plus, it is one of the most poppy songs on here. Like, I'll give you a hint. The very first night, Message in a Bottle from the Vault had almost made their way onto the top 3 list. So that can give you a hint as to what I like. Then first place, All Too Well 10-minute version. Alongside All Too Well bite-sized version. I have loved this song since the beginning. It pretty much has never wavered from my number 1 spot, except for a moment. I had a real moment with Exile. My Tears Ricochet at one time. But for me, All Too Well 10 will probably always be my number 1 song, and I feel like for most Swifties, we can all agree that's probably everyone's number 1 song, with the exception of some. So, all right, let's move into 4. In 4th place, a little bit down from where it was last year, but still in the top 5, is Midnights. She's a pop album, and she's a pop album after my own heart. This one has some bangers, some bops, some of the greatest pop music of all time, probably next to another Pop Perfection album that you'll hear about later. This album had us all losing sleep because Miss Taylor said, we're going to have promo every night of the week at midnight, or 1 a.m., or 2 a.m., or however long it takes me to get y'all to feel the amount of restlessness that I have. And some of the songs on this album, particularly the Vault, or After Hours, or 3 a.m. tracks on here, have a chokehold on me. In 3rd place, we have Karma. I have to admit, when I first listened to Karma, she was not my favorite. This is a case of after a week or two, I'm like, what was I thinking? That was the same with Karma and Bejeweled. I was like, what were you thinking, girly? This is an absolute amazing song. Like, what were you thinking? Like, you should have been putting respect on it upon the moment that you listened to it. Come on. And then our top 2 are literally 1 point off from each other, and they are in my top 13 Taylor Swift songs of all time. So is it... I don't know. I don't know if you'll be shocked to hear it. Number 2, Would've, Could've, Should've. As a fandom, we love this, and that I was one night off in Nashville from seeing her perform this live for the first time. If I had just decided to stay one more night and just, like, huff it, I'm like... That's always going to be like, oh, a could have been you situation. The feminine rage in this song, the bridge, like, give me back my girlhood, it was mine first, hits a little too hard for a lot of people. And I'm not sure any more to be said about that. You're Losing Me. Summer I Turned Pretty. Ending the first episode of season 3 with this number was, in fact, diabolical work. The same way ending, 8 or 9 with Loss of My Life. Other diabolicalness going on there. Like, basically, I think almost every episode of this season ended with a Taylor Swift song, which, fair. You're Losing Me. I have cried so much this song, so much to me. It's up there with My Tears Ricochet with my crying songs on my I'm Sad playlist, and it's relatable in a way that is not romantic, but you know how it goes. Yeah. Well, I need to move on because emotions aren't coming up right now for listening to this one. So top 3. Now, 1989 has been bumped down a bit of a spot because there has been an album that I think I have just come to know has to be one of my favorites of all time. But right now we're talking about 1989. Pop Perfection, the Pop Bible. One of the albums that took the world by storm. It has never let go of the chokehold, and Taylor knows that because when she gave us the Vault tracks on 1989 TV, she said, here, I'ma feed y'all. And let's just say the Vault tracks are absolutely amazing and superior. For this one, I remember listening to this freshman year of high school and just being obsessed, particularly with songs like I Know Places and All You Had to Do Was Stay. Are they... let's just say this is another case of, like, picking a top 3 is pretty hard because there's, like, 1 point difference between them. So, again, we're gonna go do the top 3. Lover was the exception. But in 3rd place, we have Wildest Dreams. I don't know what... Wildest Dreams cycles in and out of my top 3 in the middle of the album for me. There's just something about this that has captured me at the moment, at the time that I rank this. I don't think it was because of The Summer I Turned Pretty. I don't know what I was reading at the time that prompted my re-listen and being like, oh, absolutely falling back in love with you again. But she is superior. The music video was great. The song is great. The Eras Tour performance of it, I need now. In second place, I don't think that's gonna be a surprise because I've said this. The Bad Blood remix featuring Kendrick Lamar. Watching that like premiere live on the Grammys when it came out, man, the time of when Red and 1989 were up for Grammys, that time period, whew, I will forever love being a Grammys girly. Even though I don't necessarily agree with everything that they do, I do love that I was able to watch those performances on the Grammys when some people who are new to the fandom never got to watch those live. Well, I never saw them first, but I got to watch them premiere on there. Oh man, love it, love it. It's one of my favorites. I know not everyone loves the remix, but you know what? Sometimes Taylor Swift remix can be pretty good. Then in first place, my favorite vault track on the album is It Over Now? I think we as a fandom can collectively agree that this song was like, why did you leave it off? What happened? Like, structurally, it's so unique, but it is an earworm of a song. It stays in your head. And having just had The Summer I Turned Pretty, which I'm talking about way too much in this video, and with Out of the Woods, has me recycling my Out of the Woods and Is It Over Now brain coming back. So, alright, top 2. So in second place is Speak Now TV, and I will let you know that 1981 had an average of 91, and Speak Now has an average of 90. So they're fighting each other. I think I just have to admit that Speak Now has to be one of my favorite albums of all time, especially after she gave us those vault tracks, because some of those vault tracks, like Electric Touch and I Can See You, are stuck in my brain. Like, I was not expecting that sexiness from a vault track, as well as me crying all the time to Castles Crumbling. And it's just, the more I think about it, it's just got bangers like Long Live, Haunted, Enchanted, Sparks Fly, and Mine. The fact that I was at the show where she announced Speak Now TV, I think is just going to remain stuck in my head for a lifetime. But in terms of my top 3 on this album, again, there's a lot of close contenders on here. And my top 3 are in fact 1 point off from each other. Okay, for this one I will have to give you a top 4 because they are all off by 1 point, and I can't not mention one of these songs in here. In fourth place, Long Live. I don't think there's anything else that I have to say of this other than this is a song for the fans. I have cried, I have screamed, I've gotten really happy to the song. There's not much more to say about that. Then after that is The Story of Us. This was a favorite when I was a kid when it first came out, and I replayed that music video over and over again. I think that might be the reason that I have a love for dark academia. And maybe why I became an academic, we'll never know. But hey, love this song. Then after that, Enchanted. The fandom loves the song for a reason. And why I slept on it the first time around, I don't know. But now it in fact fuels my fantasy romantasy girl loves. Then in first place, Haunted. Pop rock perfection. I don't know if there's anything else I can say after that. Yeah. Okay, well, I just realized that we should also probably put in Electric Touch and I Can See You, because they are also another 1 pointer off. Yeah, like I said, if I went on and did like top 10s, I'm like, oh, well, that's all it is. Speak Now. I must show off your supremacy. Although you in 1989 will probably always be batting for who is my second place, but my first place stays solidified where it is. Reputation, number 1. I'm a Reputation girly. I think we can all figure that out. We all have figured that out. Yeah, I have such strong memories of this album. It being the first album that I could really ever stay up for to watch, like, the release of the singles and stuff like that, because by this, I was a senior in high school, so, like, bedtimes, not that I ever followed them because I'm a night owl, really were out the door. And I do think that this album has just, listen, my tops on this album are really just, they're just amazing. So I guess let's give you my top 3. My top 3 kind of circles in and out of the same 5 songs, so you'll see where it is. But in third place, the fan favorite, the song that should be getting a music video if she ever gives us the Reputation vault, Getaway Car. Now, Getaway Car, I must say, had fallen behind a little in favor of other songs for me, a little bit there. But when she announced the master re-recordings, I don't know if Jack and I were just on the same wavelength, but I was like, Getaway Car, must listen to at this moment. And then Jack and Taylor posted them listening to Getaway Car original, and she's right. It is perfect the way it is. Then we have, in second place, Don't Blame Me. Listen, she takes us to church in this song, and what can I say? The Church of Taylor Swift is probably one of the only churches I will ever visit in my entire life. And yeah, I have vivid imagery of Grecian goddess Sapphic, super sexy on this song. And yeah, and then first place, ready for it. I love the song. I love the song. And given Burton to this Taylor might be a reference to what is going to eventually be your Elizabeth Taylor on the next album, I am set and ready to see it, and I feel like I'm ready for it. Not all of the people get it, but hey, it's one of my favorites. And let's just like, man, looking at some of these songs that, I can't. Reputation. Do we know where the life of the showgirl will fall on the spectrum for me? Who knows? Maybe if you're watching this video after Life of Showgirl comes out or before it, let me know. Leave your thoughts and predictions as to where you think this album will fall on my ranking for me as well as on your ranking for you. And maybe leave your top 3 albums in the comments down below, and I will see y'all in the next one, which will not be The Life of a Showgirl. It'll be something else, because there's another album coming out before that. But after that will be The Life of a Showgirl reaction.